Hey, VC Jeff here. Let's do another contest entry. I don't know why I've waited so long on this one. It's been going on for about 2 weeks now, and I keep seeing other people enter, and I keep thinking, what are you waiting for, Jeff? But things kept coming in and plowing through, and I kept having to make those videos. So trying to catch up on some of these contests. This one is for Tuco over at Ecstatic. He was pushing the 200. He's over 200 now. Basically, he wants us to show an album that we would like to go back in time and listen to for the first time. Because you know that excitement when you hear an album for the first time that really kind of blows you away or changes something or you really enjoy. You get that feeling the first time you hear it, and then you don't get that feeling anymore. You may get different feelings, but that initial feeling, that's what we're going for. Is let's look at an album that you'd like to go back and listen to again for the first time. Now, there are a lot of albums I love. I can't say that I can think of many that were like life-changing, but there is one that I felt would be the ideal story for the situation. Now, I'm going to have a link below for his contest. Make sure you go there and check that out. Make sure you subscribe. He's got, oh my gosh, lots of great stuff he shows. Great channel. And if you enter, if you didn't know, if you enter, he's giving away some buttons. He has a button maker, and he's giving those away. So I'm excited to maybe see, to have a button made with my logo, which I just made a couple months ago. So, hey, cool thing. Anyway, I have an album that I guess you can say was life-changing, though maybe at the time I didn't know it. And I've told this story before, but this for the contest, we will explain it again. As a teen child, as a preteen child, most of the music I listened to, because I did have one of those little, you think suitcase record players are bad. How about those little ones that got the pop top off of it? And it's like a turntable with the needle and a speaker built in, and then you put the little thing on and you carry it like a little briefcase. A briefcase record player, then you plug it in, and you take it to your friend's house and plug it in, the little plastic turntable. That's what I had. And I used to have a ton of 45 singles and only a few albums, but most of the stuff that I listened to back in that day in the 70s, this would have been in the mid-70s, would have been Grease soundtrack, Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, the Bee Gees, big Andy Gibb fan, all of that kind of smooth disco-y type. Knock on Wood, that was one of my favorite albums. The pop music by M?
London, Paris, Munich, everybody talk about pop music, talk about pop music, talk about pop music, pop music, pop music.
Or whatever. Love that song. The song Popcorn. Took that to first grade show and tell and made them play it. That's one of those, it was on one of those compilations, kind of like you think K-Tel. But my brother used to have those compilation records. My older brother, who is 6 years my senior, 7 years my senior, he's kind of where I got my influence from. He had the Alice Cooper posters. He had the all the 70s and the early 70s Steely Dan and all that. So there were records around the house, and I would attribute that to my older brother. And he had this one of those box sets that had all the weird songs. It was like 4 albums, kind of like what you would, like I say, you would think of K-Tel, but I don't think it was that at that time. It was, it had all the itsy bitsy teeny weeny, the beep 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 beep, the car goes beep beep beep, and Snoopy, and I remember all these Splish Splash, just all the funny songs. That's the kind of stuff I was listening to at the time. And then I went to a friend's house and we listened to and kind of made fun of the singing of a particular band song. And then later I went out and bought my first album by that band, and life has never been the same since. And we're talking Kiss. This was my first introduction into rock and roll. And I bought this around the time it came out. I'm guessing it would have been late 77, early 80, 78. Because this and Alive 2, I think, were pretty much on the shelves at the Montgomery Wards in town. But I remember buying this album, and of course, never looking back as far as, musical styles at this point changed. And I was just a Kiss fanatic for the first few years before I discovered everything else with hair and bandanas. I discovered through friends the Van Halens and the Def Leppards and the everything into the 80s. But this would have been early early rock and roll that I listened to was Kiss, and really from like 78 to maybe 80 or 81, that's pretty much all I really listened to. Anyway, I've told the story before. It would be cool to go back and just remember that night. I still vividly remember having this album, putting it on the turntable. My parents had one of those big units that had the black and white TV in the middle. It had the turntable on this side with the little lift thing, and it had on this side the thing you lift up and you put all the records in there. And I remember looking through there. My brother had records in there, but so it was one of those old units, and you know you had all the records. You put them on the flip thing and let them just drop down. Oh, you don't do that now, but you know, and you'd play your records, and it would just come through the speakers. I still remember standing in front of that listening to this while my brother took this cover into the dining room around the house and drew those pictures because he was a very good artist. My other brother, not the one that turned me on to music, but so he was drawing it while I was listening to it, and I remember that first night. I can just picture the scene. So I think it would be neat to just go back and experience that again because it was something that was life-changing at the time. I'm not, what is this music? And because like I say, we heard some stuff at my friend's house, but it was just like we were kind of making fun of Shock Me and the way that Ace sounded kind of drunk on Alive too, and whatever we were listening to. And I do remember having my stepbrother had a copy of Alive, and we were reading the letters in there, but this was my first exposure into Kiss as a teen. Not even a teen. I guess I was, like I said, I couldn't have been older than 12. So anyway, that is it. That is my entry. Tuco, thanks a lot for this. Glad to see you're over 250. People, go subscribe, show some love, and support all these other VC members, and check out what they've got to show. Great stuff all over the place. Thanks a lot for watching. Rock on and rock hard.